This is universal, just like this is universal for okay. This is universal for little dick.
No, I don't know if it was. Is it?
This is universal for little. Absolute.
Okay, so
Please tell me. Oh my God. Courts, you and I both watched something on Netflix, and we have to talk about it because I love Louis Theroux, and I've watched I've watched everything he's ever made. Like, I've watched every documentary. I love them all. Like, he found Tiger King before Tiger King was a documentary.
Did he? Is that why we've got Tiger King?
Yeah, well,
bless Louis.
He did a whole thing with Joe Exotic. He did a documentary about, the exotic pet trade, and Joe Exotic was like one of the main ones there. And then it was years later that the documentary Tiger King came out. So they could have been filming at the same time, but obviously Joe Exotic said yes to any documentary filmmaker coming in and wanting to film him because he absolutely loved it. But I love Louis Theroux. My favorite one, and this is weird for me to say, is America's Most Hated Family. There's like 3 different documentaries on them, and they're the ones from the Westboro Baptist Church who hold up the signs.
I want to watch that.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I listened to a podcast with a woman who escaped that. And she was one of the people who would hold up the signs.
Yeah. Well, I think in the third one, she's one of the daughters from granddaughters of like the main guy. Anyway, if you love all that kind of like religious, culty stuff, it's actually really good. Yeah. And his Scientology one, I liked. I don't know. It wasn't great for me. Sorry, Louis. Like, I don't want to speak down to you, but it wasn't great for me. Now, there's a lot of people on both sides of this Manosphere one that is on Netflix, and people are saying that they didn't feel fulfilled by it. But I think the majority is that, people are pretty happy. There is one person from The Independent who has done a review, and I'm going to read parts of that because it's actually crazy. Now, if you don't know, Louis Theroux is a journalist. He does documentaries, and he hasn't been doing a lot lately. He does his podcast, which I listen to, and he's decided to dip into the world of extreme views on masculinity. Let's put it that way. That's probably the best way to put it. These guys who make a living by influencing other men on the internet. Think of Andrew Tate. Think of red pill taking. Love the red pill. Also, I have to explain to my family members a lot. The red pill is in reference to The Matrix, where Neo is given the option of taking the red pill or the blue pill. If he takes the red pill, he wakes up out of the Matrix. And that's what these guys sort of prescribe to, which is taking that red pill and getting out of this whole rat race of the world that we're all convinced that we have to have these 9-to-5 jobs and we have to treat women a certain way when they should be possessions and personal wealth and all that shit. A lot of them love doing that stuff. They love talking about like the cars, the women, and we're going to get to it all.
God, the cars for me are so funny.
Why so funny?
Because like yesterday, for example, this guy was just revving through the underground car park at the local shopping mall, just revving his car that he has to go so... Well, I did not do that to him, but that is a classic. And if you don't know, this was an Australian ad in the 2000s where guys would do this stupid behaviour in their car, and then people from the street would be like, to say he's got a little dick.
This is universal, just like this is universal for okay. This is universal for little dick.
No, I don't know if it was. Is it?
This is universal for little. Absolute. Okay, so please tell me. Oh my God. If it's not, this is universal for little culture. Dick. If this is just Australian culture,
it was before that ad.
This is for Australian culture, this was always little dick, always before the ad. Yeah, before the ad, it was always little dick. Oh, that's why they made the ad.
Let us know. Well, let us know if that's little dick in everyone's culture, or if it's just Australian culture, which we have so much of. But I didn't do this to him. Okay. He was like, he had to go slow over the speed bump because he'd lowered it so much. And then it was like, after he came off the speed bump, it was like, rrr, rrr, rrr. And I just thought, that's never once in my life turned me on. Like, I've never heard a car and been like, yeah, hot.
It didn't
That's
rev
hot.
your internal engine.
It did not rev my internal engine. None of the internal organs were revved at all.
Wow.
Well, they were. Like, my heart rate was up because I was furious at the sound because it makes me mad. And we're in a tiny car park. Just shut up with your big loud cars. The cars make me laugh because also it seems like the smaller they are, the louder they are. And I find that funny.
Well, these guys have a lot of flashy things. Whether or not they make the world, it doesn't matter. I think there's a whole thought process of like fake it till you make it. And that goes in all industries. You know, we do it in the media and everything where you're just like, yeah, I'll pretend I know what I'm doing. This is like people get these rent these very glamorous Airbnbs, which are huge and beautiful that, no, you know, who can afford these? And then they try and purport this like lifestyle that they have. And it's something to aspire to. What really freaked me out from the documentary, like Myron Gaines, Justin Waller, Ed Matthews, Sneeko, and Harrison Sullivan, who was also known as HS Tiki Toki, who was a British influencer and fitness entrepreneur, who was like really focused on a lot in this documentary. All of the guys are very different. You know what I mean? Like in my brain, I was like, well, they're all kind of the same. And when you get into it, what I found out is that they're all different in the despicable things that I don't agree with. So,
yeah,
like there's obviously common themes.
But there's like a theme,
Yes.
if you will, with all of them. And that theme is daddy issues.
That is the theme, though. This manosphere is something that is so interesting to me in a terrifying way. Like all these things that I watch in a lot of these documentaries, I'm interested in finding out about them and learning everything I can because I'm like, well, I want to learn things about human behavior and I find it very interesting. I'm terrified by it. And you know what the scariest part is? I've not met anyone in my life that openly shares these kind of views with me. So there's no one in my circle.
You mean that wants to learn about these people?
No. That is the manosphere. That are these toxic guys.
Oh, right. Right, yeah. So I definitely know one or two.
Fuck off, do
and
you
they,
really?
They present themselves well enough that you would be like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. But you know that, like, behind closed doors, they've probably got some thoughts that you would just have.
Right. Okay. And that's
that
the thing.
Sense.
Maybe
like, they're not open about it.
Well, that blows my mind because I guess if you're not out there, oh no, just the thought processes alone scare the shit out of me. Anyway, this Justin Waller, who is, I don't know, business guy, influencer, promoting hyper-masculine lifestyle, entrepreneurship. There's a bit, he talks about his wife and he talks about monogamy. You'll love this bit. As I watched it, I was like, Courts has to watch this bit. Because
I watched it all front to end.
There's a bit where he's talking about his relationship with his wife and the type of monogamy that they have.
Are you saying you're not in a monogamous relationship?
One-sided monogamy, yeah. Women don't want to sleep with other men when they love a man.
One-sided monogamy means what?
It means like, see, here we go. Setting me up. The mother of my children, the woman that I'm with, she doesn't talk to other men. Stings, huh?
Stings, huh? Okay, let's break it
tosser.
down. One-way monogamy, I'm obsessed with it. I've never heard the term before, but I'm invested. I want to meet people who are one-way monogamous. Later on, we meet the kids and the wife, and she says that she loves the setup. You know what I mean? Because she focuses on the home. She has her job. He has his job. It's very simple, and she loves that. And you know what? If that is true, good for you. If you love that setup, good for you. I still think it's dangerous what he's doing.
So that to me is like, okay, so there's some women, right, who are at the top of their game in their field, their chosen field of work, whatever. You know, they're at the top of the game. But they'll say things like, I'm not a feminist, but. And I'm like, but you are a feminist, because that was what feminism was fighting for.
Yes.
You being able to go to work and be at the top of your game. So you may not walk around talking about feminism, and you may not, you know, believe in that, like,
Burning
over the
bras.
top third wave, burning bra feminism. That's fine. But feminism gave you the ability to go and be at the top of your game,
have a vote
in that field, and have a vote and all of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're raising a little girl or a little boy in a world where they're going to see mummy at the top of the game. So, okay, you don't have to call yourself a feminist in that way, but you're living in a world that you are able to live in because of feminism.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And the same thing goes for women who choose to be at home. That is still feminism, because the point was, prior to the burning of the bras, there was no choice. You were only allowed to do the one thing. You were only allowed to be in the home and cook the meals and be in the kitchen and be barefoot and pregnant and this, that, and whatever. And back in the day, the one-sided monogamy was just called cheating. And so your husband was off just cheating and, you know, sticking his dick wherever he wants, and you're at home making the meals for him to come home to. The point of feminism was that you got a choice. So with the wife in this case, and like Bobby and I, we kept having to pause and have like conversations. And at this point we paused and we both said, that's her choice. That's the point of feminism.
Yes.
She's choosing that life. The part that I didn't like is the way her face changed when Louis Theroux pointed out, or Louis Theroux as one of them.
Oh,
one
I
of the
love
boys
that. And
called him.
Louis.
I love that. Louis Theroux. Louis Theroux said, well, what about if this ends and you have nothing to your name, essentially, because you've given everything to him. You're not on any of the papers because you're not married. You're not legally bound. Now, I know in Australia you've got some de facto laws, so you would think there would be something protecting her. But at the end of the day, her face changed when she realised she wasn't protected. And I don't know if I was just reading into that, but to me it was like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that. And that's one thing that feminism allows you, superannuation. In the case of women who are being unfortunately domestically abused, an escape route, because you can put some money of your own away and be able to protect your kids. So that part for me was the yucky part, where it was like, how much are you betting on this man? You're betting yours and your kids' lives, and you have daughters, little baby daughters, and one on the way.
I think you make a really great point. And it's crazy that you're allowed to in 2026. You know what I mean? Like, you're just just a woman.
Back to the kitchen, as Mr. Waller would say.
Yeah. He was one of the ones that really, because his whole essence icked me out. Like, and I've met guys like his essence before. I don't know if they're the manosphere type of guys, but like salesman, icky. Not for me. We'll do anything to get to the top, and it doesn't matter how questionable it is. And we're going to get more into like Harrison's bullshit, which really is crazy to me. There's another guy called Myron Gaines who I found really interesting, because he is a content creator just like us. He also does live shows just like I do. And his live shows are incredibly different to mine. I try to like dial down the misogyny as much as possible, even though it oozes from me most of the time. But this guy seems to dial it up. And and what is scary to me, and obviously a reflection of where society is when it comes to trying to get your name out there, and you'll kind of do whatever you can, even if it means going on a show as a woman. You're trying to build your profile, so to do that, you're happy to be demeaned, degraded, belittled. Yeah. And so they have this podcast, this live show, and they get a bunch of girls on, and they come for them one by one.
So you want a guy that's successful, but you
hate
want him to give you a lot of attention too.
Absolutely. That's just me.
Can we get the calculator up, please? This right here is the Fresh and Fit female delusion calculator.
Oh
Minimum
my
height.
God.
6 foot.
Race.
I prefer black. That's who I see myself with.
Minimum income per year.
Let's just do 300,000 a year.
Your man meets less than 1% of the male population here. Are you okay with staying single for the rest of your life? Because you're not going to find that. Would you be okay with him having other women then?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, then you're cooked.
Now,
I love their obsession with men being able to just have as many women as they want, but women, the body count must be low, if not zero.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, looking for a virgin.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You would bitch about a woman if she was laying there and didn't know what to do with you in the sack because she hasn't actually been with anyone before because she waited for you, and you'd go, she had no idea what to do with me in bed. She's a fucking loser. But then if she'd been with 10, 15, 20, 100 guys, you'd be like, she's a disgusting, perverted mole. Like,
it makes no sense.
Make it make sense.
And recently we saw this in Married at First Sight Australia. There was a guy called Tyson, and he basically wanted a wife who was, about 5 years younger than him. He was 30. He wanted around 25. He wanted submissive. He kept saying submissive. And then when he was told what it was, he was like, no, I don't want that. But then when he explained what he wanted, he did want that. And then he also wanted someone to have been in relationships before because he thinks it's a red flag that someone hasn't been in a relationship before, but he wanted them to have a 0 body count. So speaking of make it make fucking sense, all of this stuff was so confusing to me. Now, what I want to say about there are these types of men, but there are also these types of women. These types of delusional women who think that they don't have to work, they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They just have to look pretty. They have this guy who's exactly what they want, exactly the order that they want, this perfect guy who's the right amount of masculine. He does all the things, but he also doesn't push on her too hard, but he brings all the things to the table that they want and has all this money, gives them all the time in the world, but also has all this money. I want to point out that is fucking delusional. That is absolutely them having a delusional calculator on their website is so fucking gross. But women who actually think this, I can see that both sides of this are true. This guy, Myron, is gross for how he speaks to women and having this delusional calculator and all this shit. And I can also see that these women who are trying to get their name out there and are happy to be belittled on this show, that's their choice. And that's also fucked up to me. You should not be doing this.
Who's making a normal guy's not walking around making 300
That's
grand.
USD.
So
that's USD
you've
too.
just made yourself look pretty greedy with that. I get it. You want someone who's black. You want someone who's 6 foot. But these things need to be considered. And then 300 grand, no one's just making 300 grand. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And the expectations for life these days, people want too much. They've grown up with too much and they want too much.
Well, but you know what? These fucking Manosphere guys are part to blame for that as well. And the influencer girls and stuff are to blame as well. They're pushing all these products on us as if we're all meant to be able to afford it. But we can't actually afford these things. Those people are either given it to for free or they know someone. Yeah. And these houses that they're in aren't even their houses. I mean, that guy, that bloody Justin Waller had a house that he was like, no, I don't own this. I rent this. And it's like, okay, cool. But you're just making all your followers believe that you should just be able to not only have a huge house, but rent another little apartment in the city for where you take your girlfriends.
He's got one-way monogamy.
Can't do that.
He's got to take them somewhere. He can't take them home with a wife and kids.
That is true. Well, I don't know. It sounds like she was happy for them to come home too.
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't understand. The other thing about Myron is that there was... we find out, I don't want to ruin anything, but he has a partner. Partner doesn't seem like the right word. Someone he's dating that he calls his girlfriend who kind of cleans things up for him.
Well, he also called the cleaner.
Yeah. And Harrison does the same thing with his whatever that situation is. Relationship doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to call it a partner or a relationship or even a girlfriend. It doesn't sit right with me. But there's also like they've invited this journalist in, and then you saw it with that Justin guy. As soon as Louis goes, oh, explain to me what one-way monogamy is, because he wants to hear their side, they go, oh, here you go. You're trying to get me. Here it is. This is the thing that we don't like. And they get it. And it's like, if you're so fucking self-righteous about your life and how you live it, and you think that this is the way that every man should be living, why are you so pressed when someone asks you a simple asking a simple fucking question? Just answer it. You don't have to get your back up about it.
But that is the great thing about Louis Theroux, though, isn't it? Because he's so like condescending, and I think these guys like don't even he doesn't even.
He's meant to
they
be.
Don't even.
I don't think he's trying to be.
I don't know.
I think he's
Sometimes I'm like, I think he's trying to be a little bit, because like when he's talking to this guy and he's clocked like, oh, this guy's really dumb, then he goes, oh, I can just ask this in a kind of a condescending way, and he won't even realize.
Well, they seem very attacked by it. So the Harrison Sullivan, who is known as HS Tiki Toki, is he's a younger British influencer. He promotes wealth. You can sign up to his apps. We're not getting kickbacks for this. Crypto, he loves that. He also has crazy views on masculinity. He also makes a lot of controversial statements. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes down. The vibe is weird. At the start, you can definitely see the start, and that he has he doesn't realize who Louis is. And then all of his Manosphere boys are like, whoa, this is not going to be good. And then he freaks out.
But then he brings him back. Well, I think because Louis boosted his numbers.
Yeah, I think he only brought him back because Louis really tried to keep that conversation open, which must be really hard to do for him and the producers, because they would not want to continue this. But yeah, and then obviously he went on the attack, which is like trying to use him on his live streams and all that stuff, which is gross. But there is a couple of little things in regards to his mum, because he did make it clear early on when they were working out at the gym that his mum would be disgusted with anything that he says. Any of the stuff that he says online, any of the thoughts that he has, that he made it clear that he knows that his mum would be disgusted in him. And I find that perplexing to go, this woman who raised you, single-handedly by a lot of it sounds, this woman who raised you, she is going to be disappointed with the way that you're speaking and the way that you're speaking about other races or religions, particularly the Jews, and also women. And you're going to continue to do it because you just want to make fucking money. Like this is the insanity.
But Mum's just as bad.
She is just as bad. So
she is just as bad. I was standing up for Mum when we first meet her. I'm there going like, oh my God, she is mortified by what her son is saying. And then we find out that she's been on the live stream prior telling him to just do it, to just say what he has to say.
You have said that you thought that it'd be better to marry a virgin.
Yeah, ideally. Why do I want a team that's been run through?
That type of thing. The way women are stereotyped if they have multiple partners to the way that men are, I find it extraordinary. But it's been like that since the beginning of time.
So it's been like that since the beginning of time. And the thing is, as humans, we shouldn't try and better ourselves. We should just give in to our base reptilian brains and just do what we've always done. And why would we want to change and evolve and get better? Like, who wants to do that? And I get it. Changing and evolving is fucking hard. It's hard and it's tiring and it's so boring and annoying. But if we don't fucking do it, then the world ends up the way that it is now. Anyway, so Mum is, I agree, also disgusted in him, but also egging him on in some ways.
Yeah, it was so weird when we later see her and she weirdly eggs him on. And I'm like, oh no, you've just made me feel bad for thinking that you were the good one.
And my favorite bit out of all these bits and pieces is this bit in the live stream that he left up in the live stream, which is crazy. This is before Louis arrived to do like their final little chit chat interview. He's basically just a mama's boy.
They love ginger.
Want a juice
Oh.
bar?
No, you don't have to have a juice. They love
Mummy,
shots.
I don't want a juice bar. All right.
Don't embarrass
Mummy.
me. All right. Don't be rude. That's not the way I've brought you up.
Okay,
Do not
cool.
be rude.
All right, I won't
All right,
be.
because it's a reflection on me.
All right, I won't be.
Because he is fucking rude.
Yeah.
He is not a good person. And this
Nope.
is like, you don't get to step on everyone else's heads to put yourself at the top. However you're doing this, like I don't know what's legal, what's not. I don't know any of this stuff. But it does sound like all of it's dodgy as shit.
Yeah.
And you think that, because he says something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't exactly remember it, but it's like, if he wasn't being as controversial and saying all these things that he doesn't necessarily maybe believe in or not, he wouldn't be where he is at today. And that made me go, wait, so you're just getting on and virtue signaling to the hilt with whatever you think that your audience is going to want to sign up for. And they go, yeah, you fucking hell. Yeah, fucking women.
Yeah.
And fucking, geez, those Jews. And you're just going to pile on because you're like, I'm going to make money out of this. And then you think that that's a defense for what you've done? That's insane. That is insane. This internet manosphere culture is actually insane to me.
Yeah. I think the weirdest part is when women get on board with it because they get convinced by the men, because that is how the patriarchy has always worked. Is that
Question.
yeah.
Is it feminist for these women to make the choice to be put down like this? So if they go, I'm conscious, I'm aware, and I'm okay to be called the cleaner and to be belittled and used as a sex object. And that's still feminism, right? Because she's given a choice.
So when it came to what's his name, Gaines, Myron Gaines, and his partner Angie, I looked at that and I was like, this is a domestic abuse relationship.
Right.
She is being mentally abused by this man.
Coercively controlled.
I looked at that and I was like, she is realizing in live time on this camera that she is not in a partnership. And I believe a lot of these men are very different off camera.
Yes.
I really believe that.
Well, she said as much. She said that he's very sweet and he's different, and I think he
Yes.
hated that. By the way, I think that was
hated
Yeah.
it. And did you see he was holding a little fluffy doggy, and then
Yeah.
he had to give the little white fluffy doggy to her because he realized, oh, this doesn't make me look like a big strong man. And then the next shot we saw a big strong man dog.
right.
It was a man dog in the corner. So all of this stuff, like, you know, it's just like so much of it is for show. And so what I get worried about is that there are, to your question about the feminism, is it feminist to play them at their own game? Potentially. If they're playing them at their own game and they're actually winning, because in the case of the girls who are on OnlyFans and actually making some money,
Yep.
then they are winning that game. And they're okay to be belittled by the HS TikTokies because they go, I know you're not making any actual real money, mate. Because by all accounts, that guy's just faking it. Faking. And like Louis bought into his money-making thing, and all he did over the course of the year that he was on it was lose money. So I don't know where this money is supposedly coming from. But with the girls on the OnlyFans, we know they're getting money because that has been pretty historical for women in the porn world.
Yeah.
And to me, the feminist that came out of it was frickin' Bonnie Blue, who was sat there with HS TikToki, and he was berating her for what she does for a living. And when he couldn't stand the fact that she questioned what he does for a living, she got up and walked away and said, I'm not listening to you. That was feminist, because she was able to hold her own and say, no, fuck you. You're being a fucking misogynistic pig. But the problem is that there'll be some women who will see the women on the live streams who are maybe playing the guys at their own game and maybe not cotton on to the fact that they're playing the game.
Yeah.
And then buy into it as, oh, that's how I should also think about, like, I should also just want a 6 foot tall black man who makes 300 grand who won't cheat on me and la la la, like, and do that. Whereas that girl may have been playing the game. I don't know. I can't talk to that.
It is
person in
terrifying.
particular.
It is terrifying the hypocrisy around he manages OnlyFans girls and has that business, but then also says that he doesn't believe in it and he thinks that porn's bad and all of this stuff,
Porn's
but he's
bad,
happy to
people
make
shouldn't
money
be
off
watching
it.
but he'll sell it.
Yeah,
And he was
and-
getting a blowjob for OnlyFans just before Louis Theroux walked in one day, and it's like, the double standard is just insane. And like, look, I know there's been a loneliness epidemic for men as of late. And I feel for men who are trying to do the right thing by society, by women, by male relationships, by friendships and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, if you're buying into this ideology and then complaining about male loneliness epidemic, I can't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You are not a real man if you buy into this ideology. You are so, like, Louis Theroux came out as the most masculine man on that entire show. Like, he was the most masculine man because he is happy to say that he married his wife because she makes him laugh and she is a nice person and she also, like, he finds her attractive. Like, there's multifacets when it comes to being in a relationship with a woman. But these men are looking for one thing, a place to put their penis. And if you are buying into that and then complaining about the male loneliness epidemic, I cannot, in good conscience, feel bad for you.
The scariest part is the amount of young boys and teens and young men in general that came up to all of these guys and would bro out with them and be so excited to see them. I think that was the most terrifying part. All the other stuff you've seen online before, but the young
The guys who said that they don't believe in depression, but one of their brothers had killed themselves. I mean, what type of brainwashing is going on in the manosphere for you to convince people that depression doesn't exist?
Well, depression
Like-
only exists because women have pushed their femininity on men. You didn't hear that? Did you get that? You get it now.
Right. I must have missed that
I've
bit. I must have
mansplained it
missed
to
that
you,
bit.
and now you
Thank
understand.
you so much. What a way to end this episode. A man mansplaining it to me.
Oh, God, I can't wait to read the
I'm
comments.
so thankful.
I cannot wait to read the comments from wackadoos who generally are balanced and have a brain. And for everyone else who maybe don't class themselves as fans of our channel, but just have stopped here to make some heinous comment. I can't wait to read all of them. We'd love to know your thoughts. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. Go and watch it. We're not being paid to promote this, but it is actually a really great documentary. Even though it got 2 stars. It got 2 stars. It got 2 stars from The Independent.
A man.
Yep. And basically they said that the whole thing was bullshit. And I was like, is this
I
the
didn't
manosphere?
get it, so it's bullshit.
Is this the manosphere? There's
Yeah.
plenty more Wilko Courts here on the channel. Click around, find something else to watch.